Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I got all this crazy energy this morning. I'm not sure why, but I'll take it. Anyway, I know videos have been made, articles have been written debunking this whole Okinawan diet myth, but in an attempt to help spread the word and maybe contribute something original with an idiosyncratic twist, I figured I'd throw my hat into the ring and knock this sucker out the park. But enough with the sports idioms. Let's talk about what the Okinawans eat, or what the idea. Shit, water's boiling. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Raw and uncut. What the idea of the Okinawa diet is, insofar as it is being pushed by all the vegans. So, according to this vegan propaganda, let's call it what it is. Okinawa is part of this magical, wonderful, not at all mystical or mysterious, blue zone where people eat nothing but plants and live forever. Now, maybe that was a little bit of hyperbole, but some vegans seem to believe exactly that. Let's see what's being pushed exactly, at least by this website. Okinawa, Japan. Secrets of the world's longest living women. Well, that's no longer true, but we'll get to that in a second. Time to edit the article, guys. You've been beat. You've been bested by women in Hong Kong. But like I said, we'll get to that in a second. The islands at the southern, reading from the article, and of Japan have historically been known for longevity, once called the land of immortals. Maybe it wasn't hyperbole after all. Okinawans have less cancer, heart disease, and dementia than Americans. Everybody has less cancer, heart disease, and dementia than Americans, who, by the way, eat a plant-based diet. And women there, Okinawa, live longer than any women on the planet. Like I said, not true. Blah, blah, blah. Perhaps their greatest secret is a strong dedication to friends and family. Yeah, could be. Anyway, that's not what Blue Zones is about. Here we are. This is what they're about. Rely on a plant-based diet, or reliance perhaps on a plant-based diet. Older Okinawans have eaten a plant-based diet most of their lives. Their meals of stir-fried vegetables, sweet potatoes, and tofu are high in nutrients and low in calories. Goya, with its antioxidants and compounds that lower blood sugar, is of particular interest. While centenarian Okinawans do eat some pork, it is traditionally reserved only for infrequent ceremonial occasions and taken only in small amounts. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. So basically, what they're saying is that one of the biggest reasons why Okinawans live so long is because they eat a healthful diet that is plant-based, and they eat only a little bit of pork. That's what they just said, right? Then you have Dr. Greger, one of these guys who pushes the vegan diet, cherry picking studies and cherry picking single sentences out of these studies, hoping that you'll never actually go read these studies or any other studies that might contradict what these studies say. Not that you need studies necessarily to do that, but anyway, he cherry-picks this sentence from a cherry-picked study. Quote, "The traditional diet in Okinawa is anchored by root vegetables." principally sweet potatoes, green and yellow vegetables. Now what the hell is that? What kind of a food group are green and yellow vegetables? Sounds a little weird, doesn't it? Soybean-based foods and medicinal plants. So, because Dr. Greger said so, and because Blue Zones, though, vegans have been running with this idea, and some of them very hyperbolically so, that, you know, Okinawans are plant-based, essentially vegan. They don't eat hardly any meat or animal products, which is why they live forever, right? Well, let's investigate, shall we? Here we are. Sorry about the low quality of this documentary, and a link to this full documentary will be pinned probably in the comments to this video. But let's check out Japanese Australian man going to some dude with a cooking show, I guess, travel cooking show, going to Japan, Okinawa specifically in this case, and, well, investigating what they eat.
Because this is Okinawa, probably my favorite place to visit in all of Japan. The food here is not just delicious, but it's also one of the most unique cuisines in the world.
Unique cuisine. Unique.
I try to uncover Okinawa's secret to longevity, but the place
Is that a wheelbarrow full of meat? Kinda looks like it.
I'm about to visit is Okinawan through and through.
Whenever you come to a new place, you want to really know what makes it tick.
So he's at a market that's very representative of Okinawa, right?
Your first stop should always be the local market. It's kind of a window into a culture, whether it's food or otherwise. Musical instruments here made from snake skin.
What happened to the snake meat?
And this stuff here, look at this. Spam. It's a hangover from the first military occupation of Okinawa, and it came from US Army rations. And see here, it's been made into sushi, and spam is a huge part of Okinawan food.
Now, I'm not sure when the first military occupation of Japan was, but that was probably something like 50, 60 years ago, right? Spam is a huge part of Okinawan food, has been so for at least half a century, all right?
I'll have a look at these dried sea snakes. They're all around the waters here in Okinawa. So if you want a pretty unique soup, you can get into one of those.
Sea snake soup. Say that fast 3 times.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, Japan is an island, as is Okinawa, I believe. You think they eat fish? Seafood.
Deep inside the markets is the seafood section, and the vibrant colours of these fish tell us we're in the tropics, just in case the shirt didn't give it away. But there's something...
Wow, look at all that fish.
Okinawans love even more than seafood and loud shirts.
Pork is absolutely central to Okinawan cuisine.
If there's something that Okinawans love more than fish even, which is pretty tasty, I might add, it is pork. And it's absolutely central to their cuisine. Yeah?
And it may be a bit shocking to look at something like this, but from the face to the trotters,
Not to me.
not a drop of the pig is wasted. Here we've got pork tongue, the cartilage from the ear, which is actually really...
Cartilage from the ear. They eat every single part of the pig. Cartilage from the ear.
delicious and quite crunchy. The fat from the face, some sausages here. Every single piece of the pig is used and nothing goes to waste. And this is it. Taco rice. The ultimate fusion of Mexican, American and Japanese cuisines. Fusion gets a bad name quite often, but I reckon that's when people try and force it. This I don't see so much as an innovation, but almost an inevitability. And of course, after 40 or so years of history, it's only going to stay around if it tastes good too.
So, I'm not sure when this documentary was made. A while ago, I presume. This isn't traditional Okinawan cuisine, but it's been around for half a century, right? It came with the occupation again. And it contains meat, some kind of meat, and cheese, right? Animal products. And it has stuck and is now popular because it appeals to the people there, right? Because it's in some way reminiscent of what they eat. And they put their own spin on it or whatever. But the point is this, it's animal products and they've been eating it for quite some time.
The reason I love Okinawa so much is because it's a culture that's always evolving. For centuries they've been influenced by so many other countries, and for the locals here, that's just all
Check out the pig on the right wearing sunglasses. I mean, it's everywhere, isn't it? They're big on the pig, man.
part of being Okinawan. It's in their music, their language, their attitude, and of course,
Are we back at the same fish market?
in their food.
This here is the reason why Okinawa is one of my favorite places to eat.
So now we're going to look at some traditional dishes, yeah?
Not only is the food delicious, but it also represents thousands of years of culture all coming together
Thousands of years of culture.
on a plate or on a table. To start here, we've got food champuru, wheat gluten, fried with a bit of spam.
Wheat gluten fried with a little bit of spam. Now look, again, spam is only about a half a century old as far as Japan is concerned, but that's a long time as far as any one person's life is concerned. And, you know, if it wasn't spam, which I believe is pork-based, what do you think they were putting in there originally? You know what I mean?
And a few other vegetables here. This is mimiga from the famous Agu pork, Okinawa's most famous breed of pork.
Another pork dish.
And this is the pig's ear. Very lightly salted and pickled with a great crunch in the cartilage. And of course, my favourite, pork belly. This has got a lot of Chinese influence.
Pork belly. The stuff they make bacon out of, right?
As you can see just by looking at it, slow simmered pork in awamori. The desserts themselves, however, are a whole different story. This is a sata andagi, made from the local black sugar. It's a type of Okinawan donut, and they really are quite wonderful.
Besides these 4 dishes that all have animal products in them, there were 2 other dishes that it wasn't obvious that they had animal products in there. Maybe there was some fish sauce there, I'm not sure. But there were 2 plant-based dishes as well, right? But these other ones are all animal products. That's where the most of the calories and nutritional value comes from, right? So you had, what? Out of 6, you had 4 that were animal-based, traditional dishes.
They're great fun to make and pretty simple. Just sift plain flour with pancake mix, then to 3 eggs, add baking powder, a touch of milk, and black or brown sugar.
Eggs and, was that milk? Kind of sounded and looked like it. Anyway, moving right along.
Okinawa is known for its longevity. There's more people that live here over the age of 100 years old than anywhere else in Japan. Up ahead here is Izena Island, and there's a community there that reckons that their secret to longevity is living an active lifestyle and, of course, what they eat.
There are very few young people and it's a bit like a retirement village. Except these old folk don't seem very retiring.
Everybody here is about 88, 89, 90 years old, and they're out here playing this game every day. It's quite extraordinary to see. 島の生活は、いつもこれみたいですか？
いや、農業もするし、
仕事もする。
仕事もするし。
長生きの秘密は何？
What's the secret to longevity, right? He's asking a lady that's probably 90 years old, right? She's been around for a while. What is the secret?
何ですか？
これは何かな、豚肉という。
Some say it's pork. Dr. Gregor, debunked.
ことも聞いていますけれど。
I saw.
Now, the idea of eating pork giving you a long life is something I can definitely get behind. But in the end, I suspect it's actually all about the Okinawan attitude.
ハッピー。ハッピー。
There are many factors to longevity, right? Diet being only one of them. But we'll talk about that in a second.
My guide is 85-year-old Fumiko Higa, and every day she comes here to play in the sea, as she describes it.
うるうるうる、こっち出る。
Wow.
ちょっと、お。
もちもちみたいね。
Every day, every day, every single day, this old lady goes out collecting sea slugs to eat. Do you think she eats them every day?
That just looks awful. Oh, when in Rome.
うるうる、こっちで。
Ooh, okay.
大きい大きい。
Well, here's a big one. すごい。Whoa. Whoa, okay.
大きい大きい。
They really are kind of gruesome looking things. It's called awamochi in Japanese, but homie here on the
衣
island.
装をお持ち。
Isho awamochi, which kind of means like a dumpling of millet, and it's got that kind of a dumpling feel to it. It's a sea slug, really, part of that family.
I've come to the Izena Community Centre with Fumiko and a couple of her friends to cook a meal for the local gateball team after they've finished their evening game.
Got a few different dishes on the go today. There are sea slugs. They're going to be stir-fried with this, and then the Okinawan favourite goya champuru.
The first thing is to boil the sea slugs for 30 minutes, to tenderise and then mix with garlic chives and miso paste for a dish which is simply a garlic and sea slug stir-fry.
And of course, one of the Okinawan favourite ingredients, spam. You don't think of this as being a food that people eat in any kind of gourmet context or even in any kind of rural context, but this has just become such an important part of Okinawan cuisine. Spam and tofu, possibly the secret to everlasting life.
Spam, sea slugs, and eggs. Plant-based, my ass.
So this is it. The end of my big adventure through the entire nation of Japan. And two things stand out for me.
So this last part is just recapping his whole trip through all of Japan. But I thought it was instructive because Japanese are known for the longevity period. So let's see what they eat.
The first is the almost infinite
Sushi,
diversity of Japanese cuisine.
chicken periods,
And the other is, of course, the people. This country is full of warm, generous, creative, skillful individuals who make every food experience
more sushi,
a special memory.
more sushi.
Look at this guy.
Crab meat, Kobe beef,
You make a happy cow. Good heart. She's the funniest, but she doesn't
are those mussels? Oysters? Something like that. Barnacles.
want to talk to us today.
More fish.
Come on, come on. Yay! Two more.
Panda bears.
I'm quite proud of that. Now they're even on Facebook. I didn't do a very good job with that.
You think that has egg in it? Maybe some milk?
Has to be eaten in one mouthful.
And more sushi. Anyway, we're done here. So, they eat a ton of seafood, huh? Perhaps because they're on an island. I'm not sure. What about all the mercury? Oh, the brainwash, the brainwash, the brainwash. So, do they really eat a plant-based diet? I mean, it's hard to say if more than 50% of what they eat is plant-based. As far as calories go, I don't know, man. I don't know. Looks like they eat a lot of animal products. Quite possibly most of their nutrition comes from animal products, seeing as that is the true nutrient-dense food and not plants by comparison. So it's debatable if it's even a plant-based diet. That looks very debatable if you actually investigate, first and foremost. Secondly, it's definitely not anywhere close to a vegan diet. Okay, and as far as who the longest living people on the planet are, well, it's not the Japanese. Sorry. That changed recently, I guess. Hong Kong. The country with the world's highest meat consumption appears to be Hong Kong, according to the National Geographic. Hong Kong consumes more meat per person, both calorically and in weight, than any other nation. At 695 grams per day, people in Hong Kong eat 60% more meat than the next highest meat eaters in New Zealand. Hong Kong is also number 3 in the world in per capita beef consumption, so their meat isn't just chicken or seafood. Together with China and Macau, Hong Kong is 4th in the world per capita pork consumption. If our health authorities are right, then the people in Hong Kong should be dropping like flies from heart disease and cancer. But they're not. The WHO, World Health Organization, lists Japan as having the world's highest life expectancy. But as noted, since Hong Kong is not a country, it doesn't appear on their list. But Hong Kong now has a life expectancy of 84.3 years. 83.1 for men and 87.3 for women. It appears to be the world's highest. India has the second lowest per capita meat consumption in the world, right? That's why religious vegetarianism comes from. The only country lower for which there's data is Bangladesh. Yet cardiovascular diseases are epidemic in India. They accounted for 32% of adult deaths from 2010 to 2013. The figure in the US, another plant-based diet country, is 23.4. India has a life expectancy of 68.3. So, question. If meat is so horrible for you and causes all these diseases, why is it that the country that eats the most meat in the world lives the longest and has some of the lowest rates of these allegedly meat-borne diseases? Why is that? And why is it that a vegetarian country like India is suffering from these meat-borne diseases? Can somebody explain that to me, please? Now, speaking of single cause fallacies, there's a lot that goes into why people live as long or as healthy as they do, right? Pollution, habits, right? It's not just about the good foods they eat, but what other bad processed garbage do they consume? Are they stressed out? You know, do they have good health care? Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff is very important. But let's read from this article. that corroborates this idea that Hong Kong has the longest life expectancy in the world, narrowly beating residents of Japan and other blue zones such as Italy. Men in Hong Kong are living on average up to 81.3 years and women 87.3 as of 2016. Over the last few decades, Hong Kong has caught up in a big way. Oh, here we go again. Hong Kong is not a country. And they go on to talk about, what it is that contributes to why they live so long, good weather being one of them. But then there's also diet. What's funny is that in this article, diet is, well, almost, it's one of the last ones that's mentioned. Is it perhaps because they eat a ton of pork, beef, seafood, chicken? Is that why? Hong Kong's position as both a marine and land gateway to China and other parts of Asia enables greater access to fresh fish, fruits, and vegetables. The population as a whole eats well. Where's the meat? We study blah blah blah. Oh, they do mention meat kind of in passing. But, they put the diet at the very bottom, and they're not talking about the fact that they eat more meat than anybody else on the planet by a wide margin, because that is not the global agenda for our global diet right now, right? Because as UN told us all, they want to put the world on a plant-based diet. So they're going to skew all these traditional diets that people have and misrepresent them in order to make it look like it's the plants, it's the wonderful planties that are full of toxins and anti-nutrients and all kinds of other garbage that are making all these people live longer. It's not the meat that they consume shit tons of. It's not the meat. Look, again, there are a lot of different reasons why people live as long and as healthy as they do, okay? But, and I'm not a vegan, so I'm not going to push this single cause fallacy, which is the core of ethical veganism, if you haven't noticed yet. But one of the things that vegans always say is that meat will kill you, right? Because it's so bad for you. And if that were truly the case, then there's no way in hell that the population in the world that eats more meat than anybody else in the entire world by a mile would be the longest living population in the world with one of the lowest rates of all these diseases that supposedly meat causes. That wouldn't make any sense, would it? Anyway, veganism is part of a global agenda to make us all sick. That's why they have to misrepresent these people's traditional diets. That's why they have to lie to you about how great these plants are. And if you actually dig a little bit deeper and start unmasking this monster of veganism, you'll see that it's just all bullshit. And a lot of vegans are useful idiots. Okay? So, don't believe anything I say. Do your own research. And after you're done doing that, ask yourself this. Why are they lying to you? Because they are lying to you, champ. Thank you for watching, listening. Give the video a thumbs up, please. Subscribe if you haven't. And have a great day.